you forget that there is a supernatural aspect to the things that happen here on earth. And everything happening in politics and in our country and in the world, period, is a supernatural. There's supernatural things going on. It's already been predestined. We're living in the last days, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to believe the Bible or not. It's been prophesied by Jesus Christ himself. These are the things that are going to happen in the last days, and they're happening. We don't have to. We could choose not to be a part of the evil that's going on in the last days. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a simple example. There are good things for us to do and us to get involved in, right? All of us. I'm inclusive. We want to be involved in good things. Justice, right? Justice. Righteousness. We want to help defend the weak, defend the homeless, defend the widows, right? Isn't that what the Bible talks about? We want to help these. We want to help. We generally, that's what our calling is to do, right? All of us, every single one of us. However, it becomes a problem when the defending of and making justice for someone becomes violent, it turns into something that it never should have started to begin with. And that's not what God called us to do. You know what I mean? It becomes a problem when we start fighting and breaking doors down and breaking windows and doing destructive things instead of constructive things. And it's not just in the physical, it's in the spiritual too, and in our words too. And I think that as a country, as believers in Christ, a lot of people have gotten into, and myself inclusive, have gotten caught up in this, what I would call it, a spiritual spider web. It's a spiritual spider web that has, the devil is crafty. He's crafty, man. He is crafty. And if he can get you to fight for some kind of cause, and then you start fighting, you're thinking, and it's a good cause, right? You're fighting for a good cause. It started off as a good cause. Y'all know this could be anything. I'm talking in general, but I'm talking Black Lives Matter. I'm talking, great cause. Great cause. I mean, but when it becomes destructive and not constructive, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's when we need to put the brakes and go, do I want to be a part of this? Is this really a good thing? What is this about?
Looters stormed into lower Manhattan last night. They destroyed store windows in Soho and lit fires during another night of violent protests. Eyewitness News reporter Candace McCowan spoke to business owners cleaning up the mess.
What started as mostly peaceful protests, NYPD saying when night fell, the destruction began. Cameras capturing looters inside this Urban Outfitters at 14th and 6th, moments after the windows were shattered. Apple stores, this Verizon store, and clothing stores, not with just their windows shattered, but the contents inside taken. In the daylight, the graffiti could be seen up and down the street. In some cases, the name George Floyd. In other cases, angry messages directed at police. A night of unrest, leaving those tasked with cleaning up to tackle the mess. In Soho, this North Face is one of many businesses now boarded up. The trail of damage drawing employees into stores who likely hadn't been there in months, as many who live in these neighborhoods take the cleanup into their own hands.
But I don't understand how this equals justice for all the horrible things. Do you?
Same thing with President Donald Trump, our prior president, right? Everything was going great, but once they start breaking doors, breaking windows of I think you went a little too far, dude. Not about that. And I think the problem is when people try to put you in stereotype you in a group. think that becomes a big problem as well when and the world tries to put you in they want to put you in this group, like, oh, you support Donald Trump, you must be a part of the break-in and entry. I mean just dumb stuff, and you're like, no, I didn't support that. They get it twisted. They think same thing. You know, someone sees that the color of your skin is black, so they automatically think, oh, you must be a part of Black Lives Matter. Like, don't make assumptions. Don't make that's called stereotyping. You must be Mexican. You must be for all these people coming across the border illegally, right? You must be for that. They automatically make an assumption. Dumb stuff, you know? I just give you an example. You must be a Christian. Oh, so you don't believe that the vaccinations are gonna help anybody? Nah, that's not. Don't throw us all in one. Don't throw us in a group that is not true, and don't try to throw somebody in and stereotype them to make everybody who's this group be a part of whatever you think you think that the media tells you that they should be. That's where I think we go wrong as a nation, as people. You know what I mean? So I think the most important thing for all of us to do is be aware that we don't get caught in this spider web that Satan has devised. And that's what I see. I see this spider web that he's devised it since this pandemic. That's what I'm trying to say is, just because one of us agrees with one of the things that someone says, whether it be something that you agree with or not, don't take that and make it into something that you believe and push it so far to the extreme that you begin to hate that person and you begin to attack them. I think that's where we get problems. So anyways, I love you guys. Be blessed. And I hope that whatever I talked about kind of makes you think, makes you spark some thoughts in your mind. But I think the most important thing is for us as believers in Christ that we stand together and not against one another, and that we can accept each other's differences without talking bad about one another. You know, just, hey man, you don't agree with this? Okay, I love you anyways. I'm cool. You know, you don't agree with that going on in the world? Well, I love you anyways. I'm okay with that. You know, and we would respect one another and not bash or censor one another. It's okay to allow us to have opinions and express ourselves. But it becomes a problem when you think that you need to control that person, or you need to belittle them because they don't believe the same things that you believe. It's just Carlos talk, man. I love you guys. Be blessed. Don't get caught up in that spiritual web, man. That's something the Lord showed me. Is that Carlos, don't get caught up in that. That is a spiritual spider web that Satan has devised, and he is grabbing so many people